update? C.J. Henderson, LaVisca Chenault, James O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah, LaVisca has a shoulder. He'll be practicing this week. He should play this week. A.J. Can had a real minor hamstring. He should be good to go this week. C.J. Henderson is a mild groin issue. We're not sure yet on that one. James O'Shaughnessy is going to be out for a few weeks. He has a high ankle. And Trey Herndon should be practicing on Wednesday. So that's the updates I got for you.
Have you made any plans of bringing in a kicker at all to try out?
We looked at it, and then, I actually talked to Josh today. In 17, 18, 19, you go back, and I know that was recent history, but he's one of the best in the NFL. And the thing I told him is that since I got here in February, since our staff got here, he's as hard-working guy as any guy on the team. So I have confidence he's going to work through this. I know the GM and personnel department's job is to see what's out there and all that. I'm convinced this guy can come through it. I see the way he works. I see the way he hits it. And I've stuck with kickers before, and it's been great dividends. So as of now, we're going to stick with him.
He's like a basketball shooter, maybe goes in a slump, or a golfer. All it is see one go in, and it might make a difference.
That's my history. And that's, once again, if it's a guy that doesn't work hard, that doesn't take his trade serious. I mean, I'm telling you, that's as serious as a kicker as I've ever been around, and working and takes care of his body. And I know he had an injury last year, but you look at 17, 18, 19, the guy was phenomenal, and I still believe he will be.
Urban, Trevor was sailing balls high a decent amount yesterday.
I'm sorry?
Trevor was sailing balls high a decent amount yesterday. Is that a mechanical thing, or is that just the pressure getting to him? He was releasing.
No, I know. Well, one, we just got done watching it, and one was the ball came out of his hand. It was during that range, right before the half. That's a result usually of overstriding. And you get anxious when some guy pops open, you throw it high, and then there's not one reason. That's something we're addressing, and Schottenheimer's going to work with him on that. But we saw the same thing. It's all fixable.
The wet ball was an issue. You guys really hadn't practiced in the rain, right?
We did a little bit, yeah.
Would you like to see more of an emphasis from Trevor on taking the safer plays or the checkdowns at times?
Yeah, I think that's something that's a consensus that he threw one in there to LaVisca. Actually threw a heck of a ball, but should have checked it down. And then sometimes he checks it down when the guys are covered. So it's just working through. It's young quarterback stuff, and he'll improve.
How do you balance that with still, him being naturally aggressive? Because that's obviously one of his strong points.
Yeah. How do you balance it?
Mm-hmm.
Just coach him through it. Just, the one thing about Trevor Lawrence is now he's a smooth guy. Nothing really phases him that bad so far, and we got to make sure it doesn't, because that's a learning process for a young quarterback. You see it all over the NFL. Every year you see that. So he's just got to work through it.
You said on Thursday that you are a 50-50 person when it comes to offensive balance. We're at 84 and 32, which is 72% pass, 28% run. Granted, some of it is being behind in the second half, but are those numbers really more out of whack than you'd like them to be?
They are, but I think once again, when you get down a couple scores, you're trying to get back in the game. And the one thing, a great positive is I saw the energy on the sideline. The challenge I have for our team is to have as good a locker room as there is in the NFL. That means guys that care about each other, guys fight for each other, guys pull for each other. And when you go through, a lot of the guys were here last year, start losing those games, and this year start losing games. And I just want them to stick together, because we're going to break this rock. We will break this rock. And when we do, I want them to enjoy it. The loyalty, the sticking together, the locker room, the energy on the sideline. It was great. When Agnew returned that kick, Chappelle's racing down the field with him 100 yards. And the energy, and, deep in my heart, I thought we were going to come back and win that game. And we didn't do it. But so I'm trying to find the positives, and they're easy to find. The negatives are we lost 2 games.
Coach, what do like some of your draft picks, like Walker Little and Toffoli? I mean, what are those guys got to do to get?
Say that again.
Walker Little, Toffoli. What do they have to do?
Oh, Tufele.
Tufele.
Yeah, that's a Tupele.
What do they have to do to just get into where you feel confident that they need
Both
it?
those guys are close. Both those guys just keep getting better in practice, and both the two guys you mentioned are trending positively. Those guys are every week in consideration to move up. We moved up Adam Gotsis this week, and he was one of the best. He's one of the players of the week, or graded a very good effort. So, but those two are good names that are coming up the ranks.
Is DJ Chark, has he continued the progression you saw from him in the spring before the injury? Only got 4 catches on 16 targets, so.
Yeah, not enough. I mean, he's working his tail off and had a couple nice plays yesterday and a couple nice plays against Houston, but we need to get him more involved because he is working his tail off.
Is that just happenstance that they just haven't been able to hook up, or is it more of a problem that they're not on the same page, he and Trevor, or? I mean,
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say, when he does win, we're either, like we won yesterday, he done a great out and up, was wide open, was 10 yards beyond the defense, and we had a pressure and the quarterback scrambled, and it was a pass interference against him, so that was going to be that was a home run, that was a touchdown, that would have put us up 14-3. And so, when he does come clean, something happens. So there's no issue there. Just got to get better.
Run defense appears to be improved. Are you seeing that as well?
Defensively overall, the mechanics were much cleaner. Someone made a comment yesterday in the press conference about that, about minimal issues. We just, the score 7 to whatever it was in the first drive when they launched a 55-yarder down the field on us, and that hurt us. But defense, had a couple big stops, held them to field goals in the red zone after turnover, sudden change. So there's some bright spots there in defense.
Has DeJuan Smoot earned more playing time for you guys?
Yeah, I think he's playing a lot, isn't he?
Right, but he started for the first time this season last week or this week. So I'm just saying,
Yeah, he's considered a starter. A lot of it depends what grouping we're in. So he's considered a starter.
What do you hope to see from your tight ends with James O'Shaughnessy out? What that means for that group?
Yeah, that's a problem. We got Hollister is a guy that we signed to the team, and he's not been activated. So our plan right now is to activate him and keep an APB out for what's out there.
Trevor, how much would you have been able to be using ETN in some of the roles that you envisioned? I mean, how much did that, not having him, impact a lot of the things you wanted to do?
Well, one issue, and it remains to be an issue, is the big play hits. We just Marvin's kind of our guy right now, and DJ had one. LaVisca, we have to get him more involved in some big play opportunity, and we had Devin Smith. He was sick last week, so he was inactivated against Cowboys. He made a nice play, and then to answer your question, Travis Etienne was brought in for that reason, because when the ball's in his hands, usually good things happen, and obviously that's we'll have to wait till next year.
Any temptation to use like Agnew in a little bit of that role, or
Yeah.
Austin when he comes back?
Yeah, especially after what you saw him do Saturday. And he's been rotating through there at receiver, but we just haven't had you have one series and you get the ball back again, it's the second quarter. It goes fast, so you got to make every play count.
After reviewing it, how did you feel Cam and Jawan played against Chubb and Vaughn?
Our offensive line, it was very much a positive. They kept a nice solid pocket for him for the most part, obviously against two elite pass rushers. Jawan Taylor really hung in there. I know we chipped a little bit and helped him, but for the most part, he hung in there. They had one sack, and that was on a twist. But straight pass rush, we hung in there really well. I was really proud of the offensive line. They put us in position to win the game. If we didn't have a couple other areas where, we left in the first half, we left 2 other touchdowns right there on the field. And, it's a whole different ball game if you do that. Don't do that.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.